up guys, Gypsy back here today, bringing you my week 2 team builder for the NPL. This week we're going up against the Brisbane Brelooms, coached by Abeforth, formerly known as Pomman. As you can see here on the right, he's got a really nice balanced team built around Mega Altaria. He's got he's got the nice steel type to switch into Mega Altaria's weaknesses. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see what he brings this week. I did feel as though bringing Mega Pinsir wasn't really an option this week because he just does have such fantastic checks to it. He's got the Raikou, the Rhyperior, and the Aerodactyl, which all just check it really nicely, as well as Sneasel for that Ice Sharp priority. So, jumping right into the building, I opted not to bring Mega Pinsir this week. We kick things off with Mew. Now, my Mew is a reasonably fast, especially defensive Mew set. Being able to take on Starmie fairly effectively, it can switch into like one Analytic Hydro and then rest up on the next Analytic Hydro Pump if he does opt to bring that this week. I can set up Stealth Rocks, which is pretty nice for his team. Whittling things like Darmanitan, Sneasel down, which is very important, as well as Aerodactyl. So that's going to be nice for me. Taunt and Willow is basically here to break like a Carmine Cresselia, wanting to Carmine up on a Mew. It's also nice as my speed investment does allow me to outpace a max speed Mega Altaria, so I can get the taunt off, force him to attack. I can, once I determine his set, I can, like say he's physical for example, I can taunt him on a Dragon Nets or a Roost. I can then proceed to burn him if he does want to stay in, really reducing the damage output he can do, and I can just Roost up. I continue to taunt him down if he wants to stay in, but I doubt that will be the case, but it's just there in case the Altaria does want to come in. If he's especially attacking Altaria, then I do have the bulk to take it on. And Taunt and Willow is just nice, preventing him from roosting up and heal belling, acting as a cleric for the rest of his team. And the taunt also allows me to stop opposing rockers. It can help me with the wheezing. If the wheezing is like a toxic wheezing or something of that nature, I can always taunt and then Willow up. Nothing on his team really wants to take the burn. I don't think he's going to bring Darmanitan because I do have the Alomar, so I'm pretty free just to send out Willows, when possible. So that's Mew's main role this match. As I said, it's basically there to take on the specially attacking threats on his team, as well as shutting down more passive mons like Bronzong and Chestnut. And Rhyperior, if he's not a Lumberry, the burn is really gonna affect the damage output on Rhyperior. So that's Mew's main role this week. Nothing too crazy, but he's definitely there for a purpose, and hopefully it will be able to serve that purpose. So the next member on the team is definitely going to be Weavile. Weavile puts in a huge amount of work against his team. You can see, the Mega Altaria does not want to take an Icicle Crash. Knockoff is pretty nice versus his team, being able to knock off things like Bronzong, the Starmie, the Raikou. Just removing items is really nice for me. Priority in Ice Shard is important for the likes of like a boosted Mega Altaria or the Aerodactyl. Ice Shard's just always really nice in most matches. Pursuit is there to take on the Starmie. If I can get into a situation where I can Pursue trap the Starmie, then that will be really big for me, because once the rocks are up on his side of the field, he's going to be really pressured to spin them away, because Mega Altaria takes 25% when it's not Mega Evolved switching in on rocks. Sneasel gets severely taking chunks off every time it switches in. Raikou doesn't want to take 12% each turn if it can help it, considering that it is a pretty bulky mon and it's going to be under a lot of pressure if he does bring it this week to check the Whimsicott and Zapdos. So Pursuit is really nice on Weavile. If I can put myself in a situation where I can trap the Starmie, then I will definitely take it. It's also nice for something like a switch, an Aerodactyl that might want to switch out on the Ice Shard that will take him out. I can Pursuit trap him, take him out. So Pursuit's just really nice for this match. Icicle Crash obviously for the Mega Altaria, as well as things like the Chestnut and the Rhyperior if they're in range to go down. So nothing too complicated on the Weavile, pretty standard set. The speed is enough to outspeed everything on his team, barring any fast Scarfer. The rest in attack and the remaining in special defense, to meaning I can take on Raikou easier. because Weavile does actually have fairly decent spit out, so you know I'm not going to go down to a T-Bolt, a Specs T-Bolt or something like that. So that's pretty nice this match. It also allows me to take on Cresselia easier if he is like a Moonblast set. I can just take a little bit less damage from the Moonblast and you know hopefully get a big hit off on the Cress. So you know the third member I'm bringing this week is none other than my Metagross, and Metagross's main role this game is to check like especially attacking Mega Altaria. It also functions pretty nicely as a check to Raikou. If he's like a Carmine Raikou, you know, Metagross can switch in, eat up any hit and just Earthquake for big damage on the Raikou. And Bullet Punch is really nice this match. Bullet Punch does huge damage to the Sneasel if not taking it out. It's really nice to the Mega Altaria. As I said, if he's a boosting set and he's carrying Earthquake, then my other mons will easily be able to take it on. If he's a special set, then I can comfortably take a Fire Blast with my special defense investment and HP and the Assault Vest. So the real trick of this match is going to be determining the Mega Altaria set as soon as possible, and then I can go from there and check it with my respective checks depending on its set. So pretty standard Assault Vest Metagross. So far we've been pretty standard. We've gone through the Mew, the Stallbreak Mew, you know, Standard Life Orb, Weavile, AV Metagross, but next up we're bringing something a little bit different. So the fourth one I'm bringing this week is my Alomar, and you know you may look at Alomar and think, you know, what are you doing, Gypsy? You got no attacking moves on Alomar, and you know, while you're right, well I don't actually have like Water type stab. I don't have like a way of immediately threatening like Rhyperior, for example. Rhyperior is not going to stay in on Alomar. It's just not going to. You know, if I'm in that situation, and if he is, he's just sacking it off. So the main idea behind this set is to really effectively reduce the damage output of Mega Altaria, as well as reducing the damage output of something like a Raikou. So the idea behind this set is obviously acting as a defensive pivot. If he brings Darmanitan, I can switch into my Alomar, comfortably tank a hit, wish up, pass out, pass the wishes over to my other bulky mons, or even something like a Weavile, if I can leave the hit and then you know receive the wish. But the real interesting move on this set is Soak, and while Soak may look kind of strange on this, the idea behind Soak is that if I can get in a situation where Alomar is in on a Mega Altaria, I can proceed to Soak the Mega Altaria, provided it isn't something like Substitute. But if it is Substitute, then that's actually really good for me, as I'll explain later. But if he is like a mono attacking set, if he's like the Dragon Dance Roost, Heal Bell, Return, or something like that, or if he's like Dragon Dance Roost, Earthquake, Facade, or something of that nature, Soak is really nice. Soak. Basically what it does, for those of you who don't know, is that it actually changes the typing of the mon of the target to water type. So in the case of Mega Altaria, it loses stab on fairy moves, meaning that yes, its ability still Pixelate is still in effect, but it doesn't get stab on the move. So yeah, it's receiving 50% less damage on output. So that's really nice, and that allows Metagross to more comfortably take on variants of Altaria once it becomes a water type. The other beauty to Soak is that it allows me to poison Steel types. Say Bronzong wants to switch on me, I can Soak and then proceed to Toxic. He'll then be Toxic for the rest of the match. Even if he switches out, when he switches out, he'll regain his Steel typing, and when he switches back in, he'll return to Steel Psychic, but he'll still be poisoned. The way the mechanics work is that he'll maintain the poison status, even if he switches back in and he returns to Steel Psychic. So that's really cool for me. That's another nice way of whittling down Bronzong if he does decide to bring it, as well as whittling down Wheezing. It also allows me to Toxic Wheezing, so that's pretty great. That's pretty. I'm hoping this set can come through. I feel as though it definitely has the potential, and like I said, the only way this can really fail versus Altaria is if he's a substitute set. Now, if that's the case, that means that he's lacking coverage. Mega Altaria without Roost is pretty bad in my opinion. So he's going to be running Fairy coverage, Roost. If he's like an attacking set, it'll most likely be Dragon Dance, and then if he's sub, so if he wants to run sub, then he misses out on Earthquake, or he misses out on Fire coverage. If he guaranteed that he's running Fairy coverage. So if he's running sub, then he's more than likely mono attacking, meaning Metagross can comfortably take it on. And if he does want to sub up on my Alomar, repeatedly, say for instance I reveal Soak in some situation, and then I force the Altaria out later on in the match, and he switches back in at some point on my Alomar, I can then switch out to my other member on his predicted substitute, once I've scouted his set. And that other member is my Whimsicott. Now Whimsicott is here to encore setup sweepers, in this case Mega Altaria. So what I can do is I can pivot out to Whimsicott on like a Roost or a substitute. I can encore him, and then put myself in a fantastic position with U-turn, so I can encore and then proceed to U-turn. If I think he's going to stay in, I can just fire off max special attack Moonblast, which do a ton, even to bulky Mega Altaria. So that's nice for me this match. Energy Ball's there to do big damage to the Rhyperior, take out the Rhyperior. Energy Ball also hits Starmie, which is pretty important, because as I said, Starmie's a threat. Potentially, if I don't play around it properly. If he's like the Life Orb Analytics set. So Whimsicott's pretty nice for me this match. U-turn for momentum, and just dual stab for general damage versus his team. Moonblast hits Sneasel, and I outspeed by 1 base point, so that's nice for me. So I am max speed, obviously, to outspeed the Sneasel and the Starmie. So that's Whimsicott's main role. Pretty self-explanatory. Nothing crazy. It is a nice pivot between my bulky Mons and my nice powerful attackers in Weavile. So I am expecting Whimsicott to do work this week. I think Encore will come through for me, and if it doesn't, then it's there in the back in case I need it. So my last member in the team is none other than Zapdos, and Zapdos is here predominantly to take on like the likes of Aerodactyl and Weezing, because Weezing is an issue. Weezing's still a problem for my team. I don't have an amazing way of taking it down. I was considering running Psychic on Whimsicott, but I do feel as though U-turn was the better move on that move slot. So Zapdos is here. His Volt Switches gain pretty nice momentum. The only thing that can block his Volt Switch is his Rhyperior, and that is taken down. That is dealt significant damage by Hidden Power Water, and I am the Chardy Berry, so I can comfortably take out the Rhyperior without getting taken out with a Stone Edge from the Rhyperior, even if he is Adamant banned. So that's really nice for me. Roost is here to Roost and Defog, pretty standard. Now the good thing about this is, like, if he wants to bring in a Calm Mind Raikou on a Zapdos, he wants to set up a sub and Calm Mind, I can get a slow Volt Switch out into my Whimsicott, proceed to Encore, and then U-turn out. So I can just, momentum is key this match. I have momentum gainers in Whimsicott, Encore, plus U-turn, and Zapdos with Volt Switch. So if I can take advantage of both of those mons, I can get Weavile in at good times in the match and do big damage to his team, because Weavile kind of wrecks him if he plays poorly around it, and if he doesn't bring certain mons, or if he doesn't bring, like, I'm looking at his team, and yeah, Weavile just has a lot of fun. Chestnut, like a Yachi Berry Chestnut, could take it on, obviously, but I don't think he's likely to bring Chestnut, just because, yeah, it doesn't really match up well versus the rest of my team. It's easily beaten by Mega Pinsir. Zapdos HP Flying can take it out. Whimsicott, Mew. So it's kind of unlikely that he will bring it, but even if he does, I have answers to it. So there you guys have the team. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you think of it in the comments. Drop a like if you enjoyed, and I hope you guys are psyched for the battle. It'll be coming up on Sunday, so stay tuned for that. And yeah, hopefully we keep our win streak going. So we'll see how we go. Alright guys, thanks for watching.